What's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast. Patriots at 2-2. Phil Perry's going to join me in just a moment. Bills are on the horizon. Think about this, though. In the opener, the Patriots were a defensive sieve. Quarterback had a dumb pick. The defense let up a whole mess of explosive plays, and they lose by 7. Week 2, defense remains a sieve. More dumb penalties. But the quarterback was flawless. And they won by 6. Week 3, defense very good in my opinion. The quarterback and the running backs had stupid turnovers. They lose by 7. Week 4, the defense was very good. Special teams was very good. The quarterback was responsible, threw accurately. And they win by 29. Said it before, I'll say it again. There is a good team in there trying to get out. And it's coming. It's like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. In the post-game locker room, Mike Vrabel made that point. He said, after the win, we're going on the road, 8:20 Sunday night. Everybody's going to be watching. I think he had a finger in the air. Everybody's going to be watching, and I'm kind of excited that they are. That's how we're supposed to play. That's what the expectation is. You said it, Mike. Here's Mike Vrabel again on Monday talking to the media.
Is this game good in terms of being kind of a message validator in terms of what you need to do to win, the no turnovers, playing to...
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think you have to be able to see it, and then, we can coach them hard from that. And, when you win, it's, we just have to make sure that we're not allowing for things that we would in a loss, and making sure that all the things that we believe in, that we're doing. But certainly very complimentary performance, whether that's punting the ball down there, they catch it inside the 5-yard line. Schools goes down there sprinting 45 yards, comes to balance. Exact technique that we preach and talk about, comes to balance, makes a tackle inside the 5. We get a stop, they punt, we get the ball back, and then we score. So that's really what the idea is, and that's what we need to try to continue to do.
The Patriots have 102 points scored in 4 games. They didn't get past 100, Phil Perry, until week 8 last year, right before Halloween. In 2023, they didn't get there until week 7. By every measure, they have improved a lot. And it says 2-2, but I think they're better than 2-2.
That would mean you think they're 3-1 or maybe even 4-0, which would make them one of the best teams in
No,
football.
I'm just
Is that what you're
saying
saying, Tom? Is that what you're saying?
They're better than, Kansas City's 2-2. Are they? Kansas City's better than 2-2. Okay? I think the Baltimore Ravens are 1-3, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Okay. Your record is not always what it says you are. And in this instance, the Patriots are 2-2, and they've played a slew of poo, but they're kind of a good team.
Listen, they are good in a number of different respects when you look at them league-wide and the statistics they've been able to compile. You referenced the slate of games that they have played and the opponents that they have seen. And so there's a little bit of a sliding scale there, right? The Ravens just lost to the Chiefs. Are they truly a 1-3 team? They're not what they've been, especially defensively. I don't know what's going on there.
Van Noy.
But they're certainly part of it. So they're probably a little bit better than 1-3. The Chiefs, I think you're saying, are maybe a little bit better than 2-2. I know you're saying the Patriots might be a little bit better than what 2-2 would suggest. But the quarterback play has been well above average when you look at the statistics. And the defense, listen, you want to extract every first drive from the first month of the season for the New England Patriots.
They might be the 85 Bears.
They're the 85 Bears. So, listen, the numbers are telling us that they are a good team right now. Can they maintain it is the question.
Before we get to maintenance, which we are going to throughout this podcast, we have plenty to get to with the Buffalo Bills coming up and with Phil talking about Drake Maye, his numbers, and really trying to define, is he a very good quarterback or a very good passer? But first, I had that huge preamble there to set up the point that I'm going to make, which is somehow, if you're a Patriots fan, I bet you're a little pissed that they're 2-2. Because even though you would have signed up for that on September 1st to be 2-2 on September 30th, you look back in your rearview mirror and say, should have won, 1-1, but 3-2-1. You look back in your rearview mirror and look at week 1 and week 3 and say, should have won. And here's where I'll give you a little May pushback before we get deep in the numbers. If not for Drake Maye, quarterback, New England Patriots, making dumb plays, you would have won those games. Now, not going to get in deep on Drake because you're not going to win the games without him that you've won. However, I think Patriots fans and the Patriots themselves and Mike Vrabel and some of the players have a right to look back wistfully at the month of September and go, we kind of effed that up. We're better than that.
Listen, if they're one game out of the postseason at season's end, that's what we'll say. But they're not in any sort of position for us to have any kind of expectation that they won't do dumb things.
But they just beat a fellow bad team by 29 points.
Even still, Tom. You know why? Because even good teams throughout the course of a given season do dumb things. Even teams with veteran experience, good quarterbacks, do dumb things. That's part of the NFL. And with this team in particular, with a new staff and such a young quarterback and such a new team, all these new pieces just slammed together in the offseason, and a lot of us having still relatively high expectations for them because overall, as a group, they are relatively talented. We should be expecting that they're not going to be the 2014 Patriots. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be the 2016 Patriots. They're not going to be the 2018 Patriots, although if you remember the 2018 Patriots, they were having a hell of a time doing dumb things at the end of that year, right before making the playoff push that they ultimately made. So for us to sit here and look at somebody like Drake Maye, who's a top 10 quarterback by basically every single measure, because other quarterbacks that are really experienced and really good tend to do dumb things sometimes too, like throw bad interceptions. Mm-hmm. For us to sit here and expect that he's going to play like 2014 Tom Brady is just not at all realistic.
I guess maybe I'm not saying it clearly enough. I'm not saying that the Patriots should be playing
you
like
basically
a 12
said
and
Drake
5
Maye
team.
Did a dumb thing and lost him a game that's going to cost him.
Which
isn't wrong.
When someone uses the word "you basically said" or that phrase, you know that they're about to distill your point down to the most basic and bastardized version of the point you were trying to make.
I was with you on basic, but not bastardized.
You bastardized
I don't think I bastardized it.
Yes, you did. I'm not saying basically, because they wouldn't have won the games they won without him, and the games that they lost, they probably wouldn't have been as close. Like, for instance, against the Raiders, 30 for 46. It's not an embarrassing day. 287 yards. Not an embarrassing day. Pick to begin the second half. Embarrassing pick. However, many players around the NFL do that. I'm just trying to point out that the Patriots, and I've said it on this podcast a number of times, and you guys have seen it every single Tuesday. Happy Compliance Training Day, by the way, everyone. It's Compliance Training Day. I've got mine in. Not sure his is in. However,
they're in the process.
Mm-hmm. If you see a puddle, you should park your car in it, stop, drive around it, call the office, call it sick. Listen to me. I'm just saying, Phil, that they're a better team than they thought they were going to be, that they're a better team than we thought, and we were all talking 9-8, perhaps 10-7. At least 8-9. But toward the end of training camp, I don't know why, there was this idea that the media was now couching all of the expectations at the behest of the Patriots to make it sound like they weren't going to be that good. I was listening to it at 6 and from 2 to 6 on the radio and watching it at 6 o'clock. Oh, looks like the media's all got together and got the memo. Drop the expectations. It doesn't work that way. It never worked that way. You just look at it. But they've exceeded expectations, Phil. Despite their ass record. Relative to how well they played.
They have. And I would say,
relative to how good they are.
If you were asking me, what's the biggest reason that they have exceeded expectations with their level of play? Maybe not their record, right? A lot of people assumed it would be 2-2. But why do they look as good as they look? Why are they surprising us with how well they've played?
I got it. I know the answer.
What's the answer?
Offensive line. It's the offensive line. It's not debatable. It's the offensive line. It's Doug Marrone. It's Wilbur Campbell. It's Benny Brown. It's your guy Jared Wilson. It's Garrett Bradbury. It's Mike Owenu. It's Morgan Moses. It's the offensive line.
We
can
they're
talk
a big part
about
of it.
pass rush. We can talk about McDaniels. None of it would be able to happen if it weren't for the offensive line. So Morgan Moses is the team MVP.
Wow. That's a take. That is a take. And I won't begrudge you anytime you want to make a take on the show. I just would say that, yes, I think the offensive line has been good. I think the quarterback has exceeded all expectations already.
Because of the offensive
Watch him
line.
play.
Because of the offensive line.
He just had a game, Tom, and it was a horrible team. The Panthers are a horrible team. But he just had a game where he had as many incompletions as he had touchdowns scored.
Good point.
It's kind of rare.
Good-
Stuff that he's doing is rare, I would say. It's rare. The stuff he is doing is rare. The stuff the offensive line is doing is better than we thought. And so I think they're both valid answers.
Mm-hmm. All right. This is right up Phil's alley because he wrote yet another terrific story on NBCSportsBoston.com. And Phil went in depth in looking at his takeaways from this game, and he pointed out that Drake Maye is making the year 2 leap. Here, look at some of these numbers. 5th in QB rating, behind only Lamar, Jordan Love, Goff, and Allen. 6th in completion percentage, over expected, which is pretty good since he's throwing to guys who don't get that open.
He's first. He's actually first in regular completion percentage.
Leading the league. How many times are you going to do this? Leading the league in pass EPA. That's Environmental Protection Agency. Drop back success rate. There's more here. Just one of 3 players to have a 135 passer rating, a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and have had pizza in the previous 3 days prior to that game. The other 2, Jackson, 23-24, and Josh Allen in 24. Additionally, May has 3 straight games. This is the most impressive, with a completion percentage of 75% or better and 2 touchdown passes. That's tied for the second best such streak in NFL history, trailing just Tom Brady. Heard of him? Who had 4 of those games consecutively in 2007.
That was a pretty good year for him, 2007.
Is he better than Josh Allen? We asked Mike Vrabel about that on Monday.
Do you see a comp between him and Josh Allen? That was the big sort of.
No, I'm not big into comparisons. I think you guys know that by now. But if not, we'll keep reminding you. Not big into comparisons.
That was Mike on WEEI, and you could tell he really warmed to that question.
Oh, the we there really confused me. I was like, did someone ask him
Well,
today
the
in
media
press conference?
collective.
I was there.
Give
Yeah,
credit
no.
to the Greg Hill Show.
No, yes. They do a great job.
Yeah. I don't think you like the question.
Well, I was wondering if I had bailed on the press conference mentally, and I just missed that moment at Gillette
We
Stadium.
had a coma, Ben? Okay. We had a conversation after the game yesterday. It was on Post Game Live, and I contended that Drake Maye might be among the guys who play the position quarterback, having some of the best numbers at the position, but I still think he's more of a passer, he's probably a top 8 passer, even top 5 if you look statistically right now. But he's still a top 15 quarterback because quarterback is about decision-making, taking care of the ball, game management, blitz understanding, all that stuff. I'm splitting hairs, but I'm just trying to temper expectations. He's not a top 5 quarterback. He's a top 10 passer, though, already.
I'm just wondering how long you're going to hold that fumble at the end of the Steelers game against him.
What's today?
It's only been 1 week.
Certainly until...
It's only been 1 week. No, listen, it's fair to look at him as a player and say,
What about the pick?
we have
At a critical juncture.
Tom, I get it. Is he near the league lead in picks right now? Do we have to rattle off all the players that
No,
that
we don't
thrown
have to.
more
I'm
than,
just
than
making
he
a
has?
point. He is still...
You're allowed to turn the ball over.
He still
a
has the
quarterback.
quarterback afterbirth on him from coming into the NFL.
Sure.
I hope this isn't dinner time for anybody.
Sure. I know what you're saying, and I'm giving you a hard time because
Well, sure you are.
obviously
Because we have fun.
coming into the year, everyone would have acknowledged, okay, the turnover thing that has to dissipate over the course of this season. That's why a lot of us looked at the Josh McDaniels hiring at offensive coordinator and we said, that's a good idea. That's a guy who will rein him in and get him to figure out where to go with the ball and when to take risks and when not to. And you'll see those numbers come down, and he's such a good athlete, and he's got such a good arm, and he seems like a real competitor, and everything will sort of fall into place after that. I think we're seeing it fall into place. And so, passer versus quarterback, I think he's already doing some quarterbacky things that, maybe we haven't given him a ton of credit for. One of the things that's been really interesting to me, he leads the league in a lot of these categories, or he's top 5 in a lot of categories. They almost never throw down the field. Almost never, because they don't have the personnel to do it. They did to Stephon Diggs on that back shoulder throw on 4th and 3 near the end of the game. Great throw, great route, great chemistry between those two guys so that they're on the same page and they understand, where that pass is going to be and when it needs to be there. But they don't push the ball down the field. He's accumulating these statistics in somewhat of a dink and dunk fashion, which is that's the kind of quarterback play that we used to revere around here. Right? It was, he's got to be accurate, which he's been. He leads the league in completion percentage. He's top 5 in completion percentage over expectation. So, to me, he has had his brain fart moments, but he's also been very accurate. He's gotten the ball out of his hands quickly. I think he understands what defenses are doing to him. I think he understands what Josh McDaniels has given to him. There has not been a lot of, while there has been movement and outside the pocket play, I would still say that's been in structure for the most part. It's not I'm under pressure, let me bail, run left 20 yards, run right 15 yards, and make a throw on the run because we're executing a scramble drill situation. It really hasn't been that.
No, I would actually, since we spend a lot of time on so many topics in the off season, we have a lot of time to preview. He has run less than I expected him to run. There have been less design runs. He has seen less opportunity, or actually sought less opportunity to run with the ball, and he's a better quarterback for it. One thing, as you were talking about the back shoulder throw or the downfield throw, I'm thinking of how in 2021 and 2022, we here in New England, whether we were media members or fans of the team, observers, we were watching Mac Jones throw back shoulder throws to Devontae Parker. Isn't it a lot better to watch Drake Maye throwing back shoulder throws to a returning from an ACL Stephon Diggs?
It's better.
It's a lot better.
It's better. It's still
not great.
It's still not what most of the rest of the league has.
Look what we were digesting before.
I know.
And trying to, with a straight face, saying this team has a shot.
It was like afterbirth for dinner, what we were digesting before.
Josh Allen.
Sorry.
Might be the gold standard for quarterbacking in the National Football League. I don't know if that's true, but right now he's pretty freaking good.
I think that's
Won
fair.
the MVP. Where are the differences between Drake Maye and Josh Allen now that we've seen Drake Maye as a starter for the amount of time we have, and we watched Josh Allen closely as he was coming up? I'll start. Josh was faster, stronger, and had a more powerful arm. But I think that Drake might be ahead of him right now in terms of brain.
I think that's all fair. Josh Allen physically, we know, is pretty special. Did we know how special in his second year? I think we probably had a pretty good idea. But I think Drake Maye is, because of all those things I mentioned, because of the quarterback that I think he already is, and there's still room for growth there. How about the play near the goal line near the end? And again, it's not like it was a close game, but rolling out to his right, nothing's there, throw it away. Right? Don't run out of bounds for -2. He throws it away. I thought that was a smart play. Was Josh Allen able to make those types of decisions in real time in his second year? That was his first full year as a starter. He completed 58.8% of his passes. I believe Drake Maye is about 20% higher than that. He did have a nice little touchdown to interception ratio in that second year, 20 touchdowns to only 9 picks. So he still had sort of that rockhead reputation, but he did a much better job taking care of the ball in that second year than he did in year one.
It's almost like Maye. It's not the number, it's the kind of turnover. You know what I mean? It's like, my God, I thought we were over that.
Right.
It's not a tip ball interception or, boy, he had to make a play interception. It's like, what would he do that for? Anyway.
He had an 85.3 quarterback rating, Josh Allen did, in year 2, which lags far behind where Drake Maye is right now. And again, Drake Maye, for him to be able to maintain a lot of this would require him being even better than I think he is. Right? I didn't think coming into the season, did I think he was going to be top 5 in every major statistical category at quarterback? No, I didn't. And yet still I would get laughed at on early edition because of, what a Drake Maye proponent I was. I had the gall to say that I think I had only 13 quarterbacks ahead of him that I would have rather had for the 2025 season. So I had basically in the middle of the pack, and it was like, how could you? It was mind-blowing to
Cue
people.
the laugh track. Tua
Tagovailoa, the list of quarterbacks, we'd look at it now through 4 games this year and be like, oh, yeah, that was a bad call.
Phil. All right. We're going to go more into the Buffalo Bills when we come back in just a moment. All right, welcome back, you screwheads. Check this out. Patriots in prime time. Past 3 seasons. Let's roll through it. 24-3 loss at the Jets. Do you remember that? Yep, Aaron Rodgers ripped him a newie. 2023, that 24-17 loss at Miami. And then Bill, down the stretch he comes with a 21-18 win at Pittsburgh. And then a 26-23 win at Denver when Sean Payton was clearly trying to get Russell Wilson out of his face and decided we're going to try and lose this game.
That was the Chad Ryland game on Christmas Eve, I think, right?
It was. 2023, you'll remember it well. It's the 33-14 loss to the Bears. That was a duel between Justin Fields and Mac Jones / Bailey Zappi. Then the 33-26 loss at the Vikings. You thought that maybe Mac Jones was going to survive that 22 season. But I think he got sacked. I think it might have been a safety. 24-10 loss at the Bills. That's the where's the fucking quick game. And 27-13 win at Arizona.
That was Kyle Duggar scoring touchdowns game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Are they ready for the step up against the Buffalo Bills? And I don't care that the Bills would nip and tuck with New Orleans. That stuff doesn't matter when you are at the level that the Bills are at.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. And I know right after the game this weekend, I said something to the effect of, well, look at who the Bills have played. Maybe they've been lulled to sleep because it's been bad. I mean, Jets, Dolphins, Saints. Those are 3 of the worst teams in the NFL right now. And now they get to see the Patriots. And so are they ready for the step up? No. I mean, they're like, let's be honest about where they are and who they're playing. The Bills are a Super Bowl contending team and I know they haven't gotten there, but they have been in that tier of NFL franchises now for years. So they are battle tested. They have the best quarterback in football. They have a coach who I don't think is very good, but has obviously been good enough to keep them in it despite losing some really talented pieces over the years and not drafting amazingly to surround Josh Allen with the kind of talent that you hoped somebody of his talent level and of his salary would have around him. So they're good, and they're going to be good. And the Patriots, we think, might be on the path to good. So they're just in completely different phases of their organizational arcs, are they not?
Oh, they are.
So are they ready?
No. They're ready in a way that, and Big Jim Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub made a terrific observation in a callback to Drew Bledsoe versus Dan Marino, 1994. Marino coming back from his ACL in the mud and the gluck down there in Miami, playing at Joe Robbie. They had a 38-35 duel. Great game. And that really stamped Bledsoe as being more than a first overall pick who might be pretty good. Because remember, I was talking about this last week. In 1993, he was abysmal at times. But in 1994, he had that duel. He had the 70-throw game against Minnesota that they won 26-20. So to me, you look at Drake Maye and say, can you show up and get in a little duel here? Can you cross swords with Josh Allen? And this is what the 1994 Patriots were about and the 2025 Patriots. They were 5-11 last year, and in 1993. And then when they bumped up, they started being competitive in 1994 with teams like the Bills, who were pretty friggin' good. Phil, you remember that? Just a
course.
little fella watching the Bills and
Big-
Scott Norwood.
big
Nobody circles the
Andre
wagons.
Reed fan and Bruce Irvin fan.
Smith. Bruce Irvin.
Who's Bruce
Came
Irvin?
up with. He's a Seattle Seahawks linebacker, I think.
Can we reset that?
No, leave
come
it.
on.
Leave it.
Come on.
You guys know by now the bread and butter of the Buffalo Bills is Josh Allen in the offense. However, and they're putting up numbers, 31, 31, 30, 41 so far this season. But what's interesting is they are very James Cook reliant. He is a pain in the tuchus as a running back. And right now, he broke the franchise record on Sunday with consecutive regular season games with a touchdown. 8. Over 100 yards for the third straight game. And his best quote from the locker room, this is from ESPN. They do like a roundup thing, so I just lifted the whole thing from him. Plagiarizing but acknowledged.
Credit where it's due.
Cook was asked after the game if his role will increase with his strong performances. Cook said, "I'm the star running back. Why wouldn't it, you know? I'm the star running back. So it's going to happen." Elena Getzenberg from ESPN did that whole thing. It sounds like something out of the 1960s that you'd see on the Brady Bunch. Hey, I'm the star running back.
Sounds like that. Sounds like Jeremy Schaap, the way you
ESPN.
the way you enunciated there. He's a very good player, and he's the kind of player that, I wonder. You asked the question: are they ready? Is this Patriots defense ready to really bow up against the run and a really good and athletic and talented running back? The numbers would suggest they've been very good against the run. This past game against the Panthers is actually the first time they allowed 100 yards rushing this season. They'd been one of the most efficient rush defenses in football through the first 3 weeks. So this is a real test for them, Tom. If they can slow them down on the ground, that would, to me, be very impressive. I think the Patriots are ready. Can I say this?
Yeah.
I think they're ready to compete. I think they're ready to play a close game.
Are they ready to play a clean game? Because that's the only thing that matters.
And that's a great point. Are they going to be in a position to compete if they don't play a clean game?
One clean game. And the Bills, and this is the biggest fact of the matter, it's easy to play a clean game. It's easy to make contact against a 75-mile-an-hour batting practice pitcher, but when you have a team that's going to throw 93 on the black and has a repertoire of pitches like the Buffalo Bills do, because of who they have at quarterback, because of their experience, because of their home field advantage, then it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to stress you. It's going to put you in 3rd and 8 where you have to make bad plays. You might not get the opportunity to have everybody hoodwinked on a punt return thinking that you might fair catch it because they're on their details in a way that the Carolina Panthers aren't. So you don't get ahead or tie a game 7-6. You don't get ahead 7-6 early and then just rototill the team. So the degree of difficulty goes up. It's the SAT. It's not the PSAT.
It does. And I would give them a chance in this game. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to say that they're ready to go on the road and beat the Buffalo Bills right now. First half of the 2025 season.
Fair.
Is that fair?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And in order to do that, tidiness and cleanliness are absolutely essential. And Mike Vrabel, I just like this sound, so I wanted to include it before we close out here. This is Mike Vrabel again on WEEI talking to the Greg Hill Show about the reliance, or not the reliance, or the usage of Ramondre Stevenson on Sunday.
How do you make sure that you balance the ball security but still being an aggressive runner?
I think that's obviously what the balance is, and we needed to put the fire out this week, so we were able to create some explosives. And but you're right, you can't just sit there and run through with 2 hands on the football and crouched over on it and gain 3 yards. So, but you also have to take care of it, and I think it was important for us to put the fire out and like you said, continue to still be aggressive with the football in our hands and be able to make yards after the catch or the run.
All right, final topic here. It is very clear that Mike is honest and open with us about the fact that he does try to get inside the mind of the player. And whether it's Borregales and want to get him right in that game earlier this season, get him that 22-yard field goal, whether it's needing to put out the fire with Ramondre Stevenson. So he says these things in the postscript, but he's also at times saying, yeah, I never give it a second thought. Or this is what we do, especially with Borregales. He's giving it a second thought. He is doing naturally what a coach would do and say, boy, I hope this guy doesn't screw up again.
And I found that answer interesting, too, because, putting out the fire to me is important for Ramondre Stevenson and his psyche. It's probably important for Patriots coaches and players in terms of the confidence that they have in him moving forward. But it also might be important for what you're showing your opponents on tape, right? If you are on a every other week basis putting the football on the ground, it's only going to invite more punches at the football, more people clawing at your arms while you're holding the football through the pile. That kind of thing, fumbles can beget more fumbles. And so if you put out the fire for 1 week, to me, I would say it's still probably smoldering.
Oh, yeah, he's going to have to deal with this through December.
Yeah, you're going to have that thing wrapped up nice
Just
and tight.
based on what Cam Hayward said. We know he's a fumbling son of a guy.
Obviously, all the way through last year, early part of this year, teams are going to continue to test it, but I think it was important for him to just get one under his belt where he didn't have any.
All right. Well, we all got one under our belt here. That's a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We enjoyed you. Make sure you check out the next Pats podcast, will you please? Okay. That'll be coming up later in the week. We will have quick slants, as always, and early edition and BST and everything else that we do.